In the hidden world of global intelligence, analysts constantly monitor the pulse of the planet. They track flights, intercept communications, and scrutinize every subtle movement that could signal a shift in the geopolitical landscape. Most days it's routine. But then anomalies appear, data points that don't fit, patterns that defy explanation. Imagine the alarm when a sudden, unscheduled flight deviates over West Africa. Picture the frantic cross-referencing as encrypted communication spikes originate from a remote, unexpected location in Burkina Faso. Consider the puzzling movements of personnel that security agencies couldn't immediately identify. Individually, these were mysteries. Together, they painted a picture so improbable, so potentially disruptive, that it was initially dismissed as impossible. What happens when two of the world's most isolated and defiant leaders meet in secret, thousands of miles from the global spotlight? This is the story of that moment. The shocking possibility that President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso hosted Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un of North Korea in a clandestine rendezvous. A meeting that, if true, could signal a world-shaking deal and fundamentally alter the balance of power in unexpected ways. If you're ready to uncover the secrets behind this unprecedented meeting and its potential global impact, subscribe to Magnificent Story and hit the notification bell. In one corner, President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, a young military captain who emerged from the ranks to take leadership of his nation in a moment of profound crisis. His rise was fueled by widespread frustration over the escalating security situation and a deep-seated desire among many Burkinabe for a leader who would prioritize their safety and assert national dignity. Traoré quickly cultivated an image as a man of action, often seen in his military fatigues and signature red beret, symbolizing his connection to the fight against extremist groups that controlled significant portions of the country. His rhetoric is fiercely nationalistic and openly critical of external powers and regional bodies like ECOWAS, which he accuses of interfering in Burkina Faso's internal affairs and imposing unrealistic demands, such as stringent sanctions and tight deadlines for a return to civilian rule. Isolated by many traditional international partners due to the coup and the ongoing political transition, Traoré has been actively seeking new alliances, looking for support without the political conditionalities he rejects. He needs resources, training, and potentially advanced capabilities to turn the tide against a relentless insurgency and secure his nation's future on his own terms. Thousands of miles away, in a world seemingly disconnected from the Sahel, stands Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Inheriting leadership of a state defined by its profound international isolation and a relentless pursuit of military self-sufficiency, Kim Jong-un presides over a nation facing crippling international sanctions. These measures severely restrict North Korea's access to global finance, trade, and critical resources. Despite these challenges, his regime has poured vast resources into developing advanced military technology, including nuclear weapons and sophisticated missile systems, viewing these as essential guarantees of survival against perceived external threats. However, this focus comes at a cost, leaving the country in constant need of hard currency, technology, and raw materials. Kim Jong-un is perpetually seeking ways to circumvent sanctions, find discrete markets for North Korea's unique technical expertise, and forge partnerships with any state willing to engage outside the traditional global system. On the surface, these two leaders and their nations appear to have little in common: vast geographical distance, vastly different cultures, and seemingly unrelated immediate challenges. Yet, beneath the surface lies a critical shared ground. Both President Traoré and Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un harbor a deep distrust of the established global order, viewing it as dominated by powers that seek to impose their will on others. Both have demonstrated a willingness to defy international norms and challenge traditional alliances in pursuit of their national interests and regime security. And crucially, both face pressing needs that traditional partners are unwilling or unable to meet, driving them to seek unconventional, strategic partnerships wherever they can be found. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where the usual paths were blocked, and you needed to make an unexpected alliance, perhaps with someone you never thought you'd cooperate with, just to overcome a difficult challenge? This shared reality, This mutual need for unconventional solutions in the face of isolation and pressure is what potentially brought these two unlikely partners together in a secret location, thousands of miles from the world's watchful eyes. The location chosen for this unprecedented encounter was no accident. Deep within a remote, mountainous region of Burkina Faso, far from major cities and prying eyes, lay a heavily secured compound. This was where the improbable became reality. According to fragmented intelligence, Supreme Leader Kim Jong arrived under extreme secrecy. An unmarked aircraft, specially outfitted, reportedly landed at a disused airstrip, a ghost facility brought back to life for this single purpose. His delegation was kept minimal, a small circle of trusted aides, their movements orchestrated with military precision. President Traoré himself is said to have overseen the security protocols, relying only on his most loyal elements to ensure absolute discretion. The level of secrecy surrounding this rendezvous was paramount. Both leaders understood the explosive reaction such a meeting, let alone a potential deal, would provoke from regional blocs, Western powers, and international bodies. Any leak could jeopardize everything. For a brief, intense period, this remote compound held its breath, its secret discussions hidden from the world's watchful gaze. While the world was focused elsewhere, a secret meeting was taking place that could change everything. This clandestine encounter set the stage for discussions that aimed to forge a bond between two nations united by their defiance of the established global order. This wasn't a courtesy call or a symbolic handshake. The agenda for this secret rendezvous was focused on something far more substantial, the potential for a world-shaking deal. Both leaders arrived with clear objectives, driven by the pressing needs of their respective nations and their shared defiance of the established global order. For President Traoré and Burkina Faso, the most urgent priority was enhanced security capabilities. The fight against relentless extremist groups demanded more than conventional military aid. Burkina Faso needed expertise in asymmetric warfare tactics, robust cyber defense capabilities to counter digital threats, and potentially access to specialized surveillance or weaponry systems that traditional partners were unwilling or unable to provide without imposing political conditions. Traoré needed tools and training that could genuinely turn the tide in the ongoing conflict and secure his nation's territory. Thousands of miles away, Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un and North Korea had their own critical needs. Facing crippling international sanctions, North Korea desperately required access to vital resources, particularly valuable mineral deposits like rare earths and other strategic minerals essential for its technology and defense industries. They also sought discrete markets for their advanced military technology, bypassing international arms embargoes, and opportunities to gain diplomatic leverage by forging relationships with states willing to operate outside the traditional global system. The world-shaking deal reportedly discussed involved a complex, mutually beneficial exchange. North Korea could offer Burkina Faso military training programs tailored to counterinsurgency and asymmetric threats, advanced cyber warfare expertise, and potentially shipments of specialized military hardware or components, perhaps even technology related to missile guidance or electronic warfare systems. In return, Burkina Faso could facilitate North Korea's access to its valuable mineral wealth, possibly through direct resource swaps or covert financial channels designed to bypass international banking scrutiny. There were even whispers of Burkina Faso potentially providing a discrete location for certain technical activities, far from the intense surveillance focused on North Korea itself. Such a partnership, if fully implemented, would provide Burkina Faso with capabilities that could significantly alter the dynamics of its internal conflict and strengthen its position against regional and international pressure. For North Korea, it would represent a major breach in the international sanctions regime, securing vital resources and validating its strategy of seeking unconventional alliances. This was the audacious agenda that brought these two unlikely partners together in secret. If the world-shaking deal discussed in that remote compound was fully implemented, the stakes for everyone involved and for the global order itself would be incredibly high. For Burkina Faso, the potential benefits were immense. Access to North Korea's specialized military training, cyber warfare expertise, and potentially advanced hardware could provide a significant boost to its capabilities in the fight against extremist groups. This could fundamentally shift the dynamics of the internal conflict, allowing Traoré's forces to reclaim territory and better protect the population. Furthermore, a successful partnership outside traditional channels would strengthen Burkina Faso's hand against regional and international pressure, demonstrating its ability to secure its interests independently. For North Korea, the deal offered a critical lifeline. Gaining access to Burkina Faso's valuable mineral resources would provide essential raw materials needed for its technology and defense industries, directly circumventing international sanctions designed to choke off such supplies. Finding a discrete market for its military technology would generate much-needed revenue and validate its strategy of developing these capabilities despite global condemnation. It would be a major breach in the international sanctions regime and a propaganda victory for Kim Jong-un's government. But the implications extend far beyond these two nations. Such a partnership challenges the established norms of international relations. It demonstrates that states facing isolation and pressure from the traditional global powers are willing and able to form strategic alliances based on mutual need and shared defiance. This could inspire other nations to seek similar unconventional partnerships, potentially leading to a fragmentation of existing regional blocs and a rebalancing of global influence. It signals a world where power is becoming more diffuse and where unexpected connections can have significant geopolitical consequences. Like this video if you think unconventional alliances like this could reshape global power dynamics and challenge the traditional world order. The potential deal between Traoré and Kim Jong-un wasn't just about resources and security, it was about redrawing the lines of global influence in the 21st century. In the complex, interconnected world of global intelligence, few secrets remain buried forever. Despite the extreme measures taken to conceal the meeting, anomalies persisted. Persistent satellite imagery analysis revealed subtle changes at the remote compound. The interception of seemingly innocuous low-level communications, when cross-referenced with other data, revealed unusual patterns. And perhaps, just perhaps, a carefully cultivated human source within one of the delegations provided the final, crucial piece of the puzzle. The truth of the secret rendezvous between President Traoré and Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un did not emerge through official channels. Instead, it broke via a leaked intelligence brief obtained by an investigative journalism outlet known for its deep ties to security circles. The report, published online, sent immediate shockwaves across continents. The headline itself was designed to provoke, shocking. Traoré hosts Kim Jong-un a world-shaking deal? The question mark fueled intense speculation, leaving governments and analysts scrambling to confirm the details and assess the implications. Demands for clarification poured in from capitals around the world. The reaction from the Regional Stability Alliance, RSA, the fictionalized ECOWAS, was swift and alarmed. An emergency session was convened as member states grappled with the possibility of a North Korean presence and influence in West Africa. Western powers, who had largely supported the RSA's efforts to pressure Burkina Faso, issued stern, albeit cautious, warnings about the potential consequences of any military or technical cooperation between Ouagadougou and Pyongyang. The leak had exposed a geopolitical maneuver that threatened to upset regional balances and challenge international sanctions regimes. The exposed secret meeting between President Traoré and Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un sent ripples across the globe, highlighting profound implications for regional stability and international relations. In West Africa, it immediately raised concerns about the potential fragmentation of regional security architectures. Burkina Faso's willingness to seek military and technical assistance from North Korea directly challenged the authority and influence of the Regional Stability Alliance, RSA, the fictionalized ECOWAS, which had sought to isolate Traoré's government. This move could inspire other nations in the region to bypass traditional blocs and forge their own independent paths, potentially leading to a less cohesive security environment. On the international stage, the meeting underscored the difficult position of Western powers and other nations that rely on sanctions and diplomatic pressure to enforce global norms. Traoré's pivot towards North Korea demonstrated that isolated states are finding ways to connect and cooperate, creating alternative alignments that challenge the established order. It symbolized the reality of a multipolar world where power is becoming more distributed and where unexpected partnerships can emerge, driven by mutual needs and shared defiance. The meeting happened. The question of the world-shaking deal remains. What does this mean for the future of global alliances and the balance of power? The full extent of the agreement, if one was reached, remains shrouded in secrecy, leaving the world to grapple with the uncertainty of its potential consequences. Comment below. What do you think was the most shocking aspect of this secret meeting? The fact that it happened, who was involved, or the potential nature of the deal? The secret meeting between President Ibrahim Traoré and Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un, regardless of the precise details of any agreement, stands as a powerful symbol. It signifies a new era where states facing isolation and pressure are increasingly willing to defy established norms and seek unconventional alliances to secure their interests. This event offers crucial lessons about the limitations of traditional tools like sanctions. While intended to isolate and compel compliance, they can inadvertently push targeted states towards alternative networks and partners willing to operate outside the conventional system. The rise of these alternative alignments demonstrates a shift in how global power operates, moving beyond established blocks and towards more fluid, need-based connections. The implications for the future are clear. We may see more such unexpected partnerships emerge as nations navigate a complex, multipolar world. These alliances, forged in secrecy and driven by mutual necessity, could continue to challenge traditional power structures and reshape the geopolitical landscape in unpredictable ways. For more deep dives into the hidden currents and political trends shaping our world, subscribe to Magnificent Story and hit the notification bell. Next week, we'll delve into another fascinating case, a deep dive into the tactics and strategies employed by unconventional alliances to bypass global restrictions and achieve their strategic goals.